I guess I've got this one here. I had to actually push the button to go live on YouTube this time.
Huh.
There we go. Now we're live on YouTube. It's one of those times where it decided that I needed to push the button.
Right, what I was saying is, I think that people who learn to take photos with actual film are much better photographers than people who have learned to take photos on digital.
Well, with film, you actually got to pay attention to your lighting because you only get one shot. You only get one chance at it.
Not just that, but I've noticed that there you are. I've noticed that people who have learned to take photos on digital, they look at their photo right away and then they change it.
Yep.
They can change the photo right there, or they can take the photo, delete it. It's like,
yeah,
it's a very different mind frame, and it's I shouldn't say that people who learn with actual film are better. It's just they're much more in depth and much more careful.
Well, that's because you get a limited shot. You know, you get 24 shots per roll of film, or 36 per roll of film maximum, and you can't take 20 shots and then choose the best one where the lighting just happened to change in those few seconds, because lighting changes every second that you're looking through your camera lens. Lighting changes. And
I had this one picture I caught when I was a teenager where I went to take a picture of it was like a leaf stuck on one of those silk web things that was coming down from the tree.
Yeah.
And just as I took the picture, the sun started shining through. It made a really cool picture.
Yeah, it's amazing how it works. Well, with that being said, it's time for some good music, bad singing. Take us right into showtime.
Claim to know your story, don't even have my own. In search for glory, gone with them sacred rules of old. They went missing down Highway 49. Devils at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Preacher man discovered, passed down from saint to sage, like a kind-hearted lover who's been lost on this stage. Went missing down Highway 49. Devils at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Sitting doing time. Junkie and the jigger, just seen who done the crime. Captain pulled the trigger, guess who's doing time? They went missing down Highway 49. Devils at the crossroads, is it yours or is it mine?
Most definitely mine.
your story, don't even have my own. In our search for glory, gone with the sacred rules of old. We're missing down Highway 49. Devils at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Devils at the crossroads, jokers doing fine. Just sitting doing time.
Alrighty then, here we go. It is showtime. Let's wind this puppy up and get along, little doggies.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WordPress Plugins A to Z, not Z.
Dreamin' of a white WordPress Christmas. It's episode 541, and we have plugins for shopping carts, dark mode, child themes, free downloads, page links, no nonsense, and ClassicPress options, all coming up on WordPress Plugins from A to Z.
WordPress. It's the most popular content management and website solution on the internet. And with over 80,000 plugins to choose from, how do you separate the junk from the gems? Join us for a weekly, unrehearsed conversation about the latest and greatest in WordPress plugins. This is WordPress Plugins from A to Z.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Coming to you direct from the brewery overlook in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. I'm John Overall, and with me is the ever lovely
Amber overall.
And we have a great show for you today. It was the week before Christmas and all through the web. Not a developer was, well, I was working on something cool there. It started out cool, but it just fell apart. Anyway, Merry Christmas to everyone. Next week's show will be a pre-recorded one, as it is the Christmas Eve, or the day before Christmas Eve, and I have some special plans that day where I just won't be around. I've got something I really want to do and I haven't done in quite some time, so we'll be off and we'll have a pre-recorded show for y'all. That's also going to, I realize, push the contest out an additional week, because we're not going to be able to announce the winner for Christmas Eve. It'll be a Christmas New Year's present, because we're going to announce it on the show for the 30th. All right. Before we get too far down the path, though, you do want to hang around to the end of the show for the Q&A segment with Amber. And those listening on the podcast download, you will want to check out the YouTube version, which has great discussions before, after the show, and the second half of the Q&A segment with Amber. With all of that being said...
Thank you for sharing, John. Now get down from that soapbox.
This is number, not 48, but number 50 of 52 episodes for 2021. If you heard our show last week, you will have heard the conversation that my dad and I had about how I somehow messed up on my counting and have been 2 shows behind for a bit. Surprisingly, though... Surprising that there's only 2 to 3 shows, including this one, left in the year. It feels like, we just kind of super sped through it all. I hope everyone out there is ready for the holidays and New Year's. I know I'm not. I still haven't even put up my Christmas tree. Probably what I'll get to this weekend. For the holidays, if you can, try to put the media to the side for more than just an hour a day. Try to put it to the side as much as you can. Spend the entire day, the entire week with your family and friends if you can. Everyone has at least a little downtime around this time of year, so take advantage of that. Have some fun. Rinse and repeat as often as needed.
Absolutely. Yep, there we go. Buttons everywhere.
Please, can everybody be quiet? Please be quiet. Shut up! Thank you. And now the WordPress news with John Overall.
Whatever.
So, first thing I have up here is Patch Stack WordPress Vulnerability Part 3 for December. Now, for this one, there's only one plugin that we really need to pay attention to, and that is WP Calc. This one has not been patched and is the only one that is recommended to be uninstalled and deleted. It has been closed as of December 9th, 2021. The rest of these, yeah, they had an issue, but they've all been patched.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
Yep.
Make sure you do your updates, folks.
The next one is, I know it's not WordPress technically, but it is kind of important since it's about Chrome, which is a very popular one. You need to make sure you update your Chrome now because hackers are attacking it. There's a vulnerability that is currently being exploited by hackers. So you don't need to do anything overly special, just shut it down and restart it, and it'll auto-update for you. The patch has been sent out, so...
Yeah, pretty much. Well, Chrome, every time you close it up and restart it, it automatically updates itself. They cram it down your throat whether you want it or not. You don't have an option.
Yeah.
Yeah. As Google. We control your lives and you're happy about it. All right.
All-in-one SEO plugin patches severe vulnerabilities.
Although this is a big one.
Yeah, on December 8th, just a little bit ago, they found a whole set of severe vulnerabilities that were discovered by Jetpack. So they've actually managed to get the patches out. They've managed to fix this vulnerability as best they can. And make sure if you have this all-in-one SEO plugin that you go and you update it.
Yep.
Get that patch in.
Oh, absolutely. All right.
Next one is a Lara block theme promises a new pattern or design variation every week for the next year. I just thought this was cool. It makes me think of how we change our show art every week. And I think it's going to be a great way to get people to notice them.
Yep.
It seems to be geared to arts, so it's a good idea. I found this a very interesting thing.
That'll be very interesting. That'll probably grab them some audience.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of useful.
Creative Commons search is now just called Openverse. So if you're already using Creative Commons search, you won't be able to find it in your plugins list. It's now called OpenSearch. So just everyone be aware of this. It didn't vanish on you. It's just changed its name.
Yeah, well, gotta do that.
Yep.
Nobody stays much the same anymore for some strange reason.
No, everything needs to change its name.
Yeah.
This one is important, I think. I personally, in my opinion, it's very important. Hackers are infecting random WordPress plugins to steal credit cards. So if you have a shop on WordPress, be aware of this. This article goes through and explains how the hackers are doing this and how to figure out if you have been a victim of this and how to protect yourself from it. Especially over the holidays, this is kind of an issue.
Yeah, this is a big one because I actually fell prey to this years ago. And it almost cost me several $1,000s, but fortunately the bank worked with me to get it taken care of. But you really got to pay attention to it. One of the best things you can do is don't collect credit card data on your website. Use the processors such as PayPal or Stripe or others where the credit card data is not actually entered on your website. It might be a block on your site, but the data is entered directly into their website. So you're not responsible for it. So
this is a big one, especially on the holidays.
yeah, well, especially because everyone does their shopping now, and especially over the last 2 years, where more and more people have moved to online shopping. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Firefox users are having an interesting problem. They can't reach Microsoft.com. So it seems to have something to do with the security, the SSL certificate. Mm-hmm. Apparently, the SSL for Microsoft.com isn't good enough for Firefox, so it is for Google Chrome and Safari.
Interesting.
Yeah. These guys were having trouble recreating the issue from anything except Firefox. So I found that very interesting. If anybody out there is having an issue reaching the Microsoft.com through their Firefox, just switch to a different browser.
Yep.
That's
Try
the
a different
easiest
browser.
fix.
Yeah, the worst part about it is how they clam up on you. They won't let you bypass it. There used to be a way you could bypass these stupid errors.
Mm.
You know, and you could say, yeah, I'll take the risk and I'll use that SSL certificate anyway. But yeah, that's gotten to be a real pain in the ass in the last few years.
Yeah, this article will actually go in and tell you how to fix it on your computer so that you can bypass it. It's a bit of a convoluted thing, but if you really like your Firefox and you're willing to do the effort,
yeah, well,
go
that's
for
what
it.
some of us do, because I really despise Chrome, and the Microsoft browser is, I just don't really like it. So
I'm the same way. Last one I have in our regular news is for those in the USA using Woocommerce. This is a code that I thought was very interesting. What it does is it automatically applies coupon codes based on the state. I could see this being very useful. Yeah, I haven't found a Canadian one, but I found this one. That's cool.
well, you can probably, looking at the code, you can probably just modify the code to change it to a specific state, because they go into the database and they grab get billing state here and then apply it. So you could just modify this. You could modify this for Canadian stuff, for provinces.
I haven't gotten to that level of understanding code yet,
Yeah,
but now that you explain it, it makes sense.
Yeah, well, it won't take you too long. You know, the more you do this, the more you look at it, the more you can figure out. But yeah, it's modifiable. I mean, it would only take me a week or two to modify it, because my brain takes a while to wrap around it. But I can read it and understand what they're doing.
So I found this on a site called wpcover.com.
Yeah.
They have a lot of interesting code like this.
That's useful. I used to have a lot of those websites booked when I was first learning everything. I had tons of these websites all bookmarked where I would go back to for code snippets.
That's what I've done. Now that I found this, it's kind of like a gold mine, man. It's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah. Well, when you even after you've been doing it a while, knowing where the code snippets are saves you having to rewrite stuff or creating your own library of code snippets. I've got a library of code snippets somewhere. I have no idea where it's at now, but I've got a whole library of them from when I was doing all the
It's in a safe place in your computer.
It's
You'll
a
never
very
find
safe
it
place
again.
in my computer amongst I think I've got 25 terabytes of data stored in my computer,
Oh, wow.
give or take, across all my hard drives. So, and, I'm always moving stuff. I need space on this drive, so I move it all to another drive. Thinking, I'll remember it's there. No, it doesn't work that way. If only I could organize my brain like I organize my computer. All right, well, that carries us up to, we got tons of extra stuff here for you.
Yep. Lots of information in the extra stuff. A lot of it is about vulnerabilities and hacking and phishing and like things that you'll want to take a glance through.
Yep.
Something that I thought was kind of cool is a bit of history. Like from 1992, the web versus Gopher and the first external browsers.
Yes,
I thought that was
I
kinda cool.
remember the first browser. Was it Mozilla?
Yep.
Yeah.
I just thought this was kind of cool. It's a bit of history.
I used Gopher way back in the day. I can vaguely remember how it works now.
I don't know what Gopher is. I didn't have the time to read this. I just glanced through it.
Gopher was the way of fetching information. You typed in what you were looking for, it went out there and it searched the internet for it and it brought it back to you. It was a gopher. That's why it was called a gopher, because it went out and got the stuff and brought it back to you. And it was really kind of cool. That and bulletin boards. I used to spend hours on the bulletin boards. So yeah. All right.
The other really cool thing is grooving to the sound of black holes colliding.
Yeah.
That I thought was really cool too. So
That would be
there's some really
entertaining.
cool stuff in there. Go and check it out.
Yeah, go check it out. She brings some really entertaining stuff, folks. All right, it is time for us to go acknowledge those that support the show with their time, talent, or treasure.
It's time to donate to WP Plugins A to Z.
Absolutely, it is definitely time to donate to the show. And what we like to do is we like to recognize the people who come in and support the show here with their time, talent, or treasure. We like to start the show out by acknowledging the artists that submit the artwork to the show, because we do something that not very many other podcasts out there do. There's a few, and of course the primary one was the No Agenda show that started this trend, and that was change the artwork each and every show. And for a long time now, we have not had to change our artwork. We've had artwork donated. Greg from Greg's Graphics has been so kind as to produce us a fair amount of art, enough to carry us all the way into the new year, actually, which is really kind of cool. And if you want to see all the other art he produces, go check out wpplugins.com art generator, and you will be able to find it. This week's here art is a snowman with a shovel, all dressed and happy for Christmas, dreaming of a white Christmas, or a white WordPress Christmas as it be. So I really like this one. It's just kind of cute. Get us in the holiday spirit as we move into the week before Christmas. And just a good make feel good. I do like the way he modified up the logos a bit, gave them some color, changed my greens to pinks. Yeah, it's cute.
I love the snowman. It's so adorable.
It is. It's a very adorable snowman. And it's very nicely done. So thanks a lot, Greg. We greatly appreciate you and all the art. And according to an email he sent me, he said, don't worry about burnout. And I said, okay, well, just don't burn out on us, buddy. We don't need you to burn out. So you're the biggest one we got. Anyone out there, any other artists who want to support us, please submit the artwork. And we've got Jess who's helping us out. And this is another thing in time. Jess is helping us out, get the art generator all organized up and fixed up. He keeps asking me questions. I respond to him as quick as I can, but sometimes I'm a little delayed. But he's helping to clean this up and get it organized so it runs even smoother for us, which would be a really cool thing. So thanks a lot to that. And another thing I keep forgetting to recognize, I try to bring it up from time to time, and this was a time donation that was given to us way back. It's been years now. But our logo, I had a different logo originally, and then one of our listeners out there decided that we needed a better logo. So he submitted me several different logo styles, and this is the one I chose from it. So our logo is generated by you, the supporters and producers of this show. So thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it to everyone who supports us with their time and talent. And of course, we do like to honor and recognize those that support us with their treasure. And their treasure would be very nice and useful, especially this time of year. But we give out a spot here on the show that is the executive producer credit for anyone who comes in $50 or more, and we haven't had one of those for a while. Sooner or later we will, but I still like to acknowledge that spot does exist. And it is a real credit you could use out there in the world to say, hey, I produced the WP Plugins A to Z show. We do have a few people out there, though, that do support us with a few bucks here and there, 5 here, 10 there. Those small amounts are really appreciated, and we like to acknowledge them for it, that when they come in and say thank you very much. They do stay anonymous, though, so thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. Remember, if you want to support this show, you can just go to wpplugins.com/donate to donate to this show. Or you can support artwork by going to the art generator. The other thing is I've been trying to remember to bring this one for a while, is if you want to start buying some swag, the first piece of swag we'll have available is going to be available over at our store. The link's not in the show notes because I couldn't get in and edit them. I couldn't get in and edit them today. But at any rate, the link will be in the show notes, and you can go over there and you can buy a coffee mug with the WP Plugins A to Z logo on it. So thank you very much for all those who support the show. All right, let's move along into what everyone shows up here for. Into the depths of plugin depravity we go. All right. First off, we have some ClassicPress stuff. According to this, we are happy to announce the first public release candidate for ClassicPress 1.4 is out. It's the release candidate 2, which means they're getting closer and closer to their beta and a full-blown release. So
that's exciting.
That is exciting for ClassicPress to be doing, in that they're finally moving ahead with something new. It's been very quiet over there for quite some time, so that'll be kind of neat if that comes out and gathers some ground as a steam. I'd have to go read through what it is, and there it is. Now it's loaded up. Yeah, new features. plugin theme updates, ID columns, direct plugins, dash cons, PHP 8 compatibility. Wow, they're moving towards PHP 8 compatibility already. I'm not even sure WordPress is moving there.
That's pretty awesome, though.
Yeah, well, let's see what we got. That'll be interesting. So, more power to them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so go check it out. Go poke your nose at ClassicPress and see how they're doing. If you happen to be a ClassicPress user listening to the show, send us some information, send us some updates. You can send them to John at wppro.ca, and I will try and get them. I will get them included in the show. Okay, off we go into the WordPress plugins this week, and the first one I've got for you here was submitted by the marketing department of the developer. I forgot to put their names into the show notes, but it came from Tribe Interactive. It's called Caddy, Smart Sidecar for Woocommerce. And they had originally sent me just the free version, and I checked it out. I liked it a lot. Sent them back an email and said, yeah, it'll be limited on the review because it is the free version. You got a premium version. So then they promptly sent me back a premium version to test out.
Oh, nice.
Which was kind of cool. And I did check it out, and it is a very nice plugin add-on for your WooCommerce store. It gives one of those really nice pop-out sidebars for your WooCommerce store. But not only that, it has spots in there that it will help you choose some products to automatically recommend when somebody adds a cart into or adds a product into the cart underneath and say, hey, we might recommend this for you. You can also put discount codes. They can set up a save for later buttons. It gives you, like I said, the upsell recommendations, a free shipping meter. If you've got free shipping, you offer free shipping if they spend $50 or something. There's a little meter in the shopping cart that goes off to show them how close they are to the $50. Maybe they got $40 and they go, oh, I want free shipping. They got to go back and order something else. So it's another way to increase your sales. So it's a very useful one. I like it. It seems to be smooth in its operation. A really good one. You know, you got to get the premium version for all the benefits of all these other notices and things in there. The free version gives you a very nice looking shopping cart and something better than most of them, but the free version gives you all the advantages of it. And I don't remember what their costs are for the premium version, but it's right up there with everyone else's reasonable prices, somewhere between 20 and $60. I don't recall it exactly, but it is worthwhile. Go check it out. It's called Caddy Sidecart plugin for WooCommerce. And I give it a 5 dragon rating.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, you can see it in action over at the Rogues Tavern.
Just so you know, I can't hear the dragon roar today, so if I end up talking through it, sorry.
Yeah, well, okay. I don't know why. Can you hearing any of the other jingles?
Squirrel!
Not, I can hear that one, but most of them I'm not hearing very well. It's one of those days.
All right, tune your ears in.
The first one I have today is called Dark Looks, Dark Mode Switcher for WordPress. Now, I honestly think this is the coolest dark mode I've ever seen for the front end. It makes the writing white, the links and titles red automatically, but you can choose your own color palette, which is just cool. It is only for the front end though, not for the dark end, and it doesn't seem to play nice with back end dark mode plugins, like different ones.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a downside if you are looking for something to make both the back and the front end darker. But if you just want the front end dark, this is a great one. It actually throws on a switch onto the front end for your users so they can choose it. It also offers the option to set a timer so that it automatically goes into dark mode and then goes out of dark mode at a certain time. It's just really cool. It's a completely free, brand new plugin. Definitely worth checking out. And I rate it at 5 dragons.
Cool. I'm not into dark modes. They seem to hurt my eyes for some reason.
I'm the opposite. I need everything dimmed down, and I can't use bright bulbs in the house. It's just, I'm very light sensitive.
Yeah.
And I've managed, but it's interesting how that works for some people and not for others.
Yeah, I have to flip on every light in the house, run my hydro up just so I can see everything. All right, next one I have for you here is called Child Theme Wizard. Now, if you're having to create a child theme for a theme you've got, maybe you've got a theme that doesn't come with a child theme. Well, child themes are easy enough to write. They're pretty straightforward. It's 3 basic files: a CSS file, a blank functions file, and a picture. That's your whole theme. That's your basic theme folder files. But if you're feeling kind of lazy and you don't want to actually sit down and write that code out, which probably takes 10-15 minutes, you can install this plugin, click a button, type in a couple of things, and you can have it done in under 5 minutes. So, being the lazy bum I am, finding the easiest way I can. I had to do this recently, and I just went, there's a plugin for that. Back to the old day when from the old Apple thing, and for a long time it was WordPress. There's a plugin for that. There's still a plugin for it in WordPress. Installed this plugin, typed in what was needed. The only drawback I found, it says it creates an image for you. Well, it does create an image, but it's a really bland, blah image. You don't get an opportunity to upload your own image to use. So you have to go replace it afterwards, but not that hard of a thing to do. Anyway, really great plugin, pretty straightforward, works very well. It is free, so I have to give this one a 5 dragon rating. Go check it out. It's the Child Theme Wizard.
Next one I have up for you is called No Nonsense. This plugin was designed with developers in mind. With this, when you are setting up a new site, you can do preset in the options so all those pesky default content bits are removed for you. I can see this being very helpful. I could also see it being kind of tedious because you have to go through the process of getting it in there, then setting it up, and then letting it run. So it deletes everything for you. But also, the things that it will remove things from for you are kind of all over the place. So, yeah, I can see it being very useful for someone who's setting something new up.
Yep. It is very useful. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm just commenting.
I rate it at 5 dragons.
Okay. It does look like it's very useful, and it reminds me of another one, WP Cleanup or something else, a plugin that's not really available anymore, but I still have a copy of it. When I put a fresh install of WordPress, it's the first thing I run. It just cleans up all the crap that is installed on default for WordPress.
Yeah, this one, that's exactly what this does. It seems pretty useful.
Combine this one with the other one, and you remove all the crap. So there's some new settings here that aren't included in the other one.
Oh.
All right, the final one I have for you today is called Page Links To. Now, this one's an older plugin, but it's still very useful. They've sort of kept it up to date. They updated it about a year ago. But it's a really great tool for when you're creating an unusually laid out website, or you've got extra posts and pages that and this is specifically for pages, I believe. If you got pages you want linking somewhere else besides in your WordPress site, or maybe you need them linking to a specific spot in your WordPress site if they land on that page. You can use this for creating specific menu link items and other stuff, and all it does is you create the page out, and at the bottom of the page you can set a custom URL that when someone clicks on the link to this page, that's where they're redirected to. Very useful tool. I found it to work very well for the specific application I needed it for. Go check this one out. It's called Page Links To, and I give it a 5 dragon rating.
That does sound pretty useful. We had a complete 5-day today.
Not yet.
That doesn't happen often.
We haven't heard your last one. How do we know it's a 5?
Last one I have is Free Download Manager. This new plugin is I think it's specifically geared towards podcasters, though I can see it being used for all kinds of media. What it does is it is essentially a tracker for your digital downloads. You can even edit your downloads with this. It's very useful. The options in this plugin are pretty awesome. It has category tags, reports, and the settings offer a theme code for you to add it to your site if you need it. Very nice plugin. Works great for newbies, and I'm pretty sure old hands would appreciate it too. Totally free, and I rate it at 5 dragons.
It might have been targeted towards podcasters. I don't see the use in podcasting because it can create you grief there. But I can see a really great use for it in marketing. If you're giving out a free PDF book or something, when they sign up for your email, they download it, and then after they download it, you use it to redirect them to another page to upsell them something else. Or if you've got other downloads on your site, this could be very useful in the form of marketing to improve the sales or improve the number of things that people do on your site to increase your income.
I was thinking more along the lines of like keeping track of how many downloads and figuring out which of your shows or which of your music, if you're selling music, what is downloaded more, what's liked more, what's disliked, all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, we are in some listener feedback zone. I was told there was a listener question. I don't see it in the notes.
Oh, there is. Okay, so it's under listener questions.
There's nothing there. It's blank. It just says
okay.
Oh, there it is. Oh, it's in black. It's all in a headline, so it doesn't look like the question. Go ahead.
With the new release for ClassicPress, I want to try it out. Is a sandbox page the best way, and then temporarily turn it live to see it and play with it, and then while retaining my WordPress site to revert back to? So, like, do you understand the question?
Yeah, I sort of understand. It's a bit of a convoluted question. It's like they're talking about a new release for ClassicPress. Yeah, they want to try out the ClassicPress, and they're asking, is a sandbox page the best? Yeah, sandbox page is absolutely the best way, but you don't need to turn it temporarily live. You're creating a sandbox page. You're creating it separate and apart from your primary WordPress site. Create it as a subdomain, because don't try to convert your WordPress site and then convert back, because that can create grief for you. I've already been down that path of converting the site to ClassicPress and then reconverting back to WordPress. And as they get further and further along, they're falling further and further apart from where they split 2 years ago. So you don't want to be converting a WordPress site to ClassicPress unless you're ready to do that. Basically, if you want to do something like that to convert your WordPress site to ClassicPress, create a dev site out of it, and then convert it to ClassicPress, see how it works, and then you'll know if you want to go that route or not, and then you haven't damaged your live site. Never mess with your live site. Never experiment on your live site. If you're making a major experiment, don't do that, because you will regret it. You'll think, oh, I can do this right now. It's 2 weeks before my Christmas sales start, and boom, you've just created misery for yourself for 2 weeks. So don't do that. Always go into a dev site, and always use a sandbox when you're experimenting with something new. A sandbox is a dev site, basically. All right. It is time for us to... Absolutely, it's contest time. And we do have a contest. As we said in the beginning, it has been extended out a week. It was supposed to only go till next week on the 23rd or 22nd, so we could announce it on the 23rd. Because we're doing a pre-recorded show, the contest is pushed out till the 26th of December. And what are we giving away? We're giving away a 1-year hosting package over at from johnoverall.com hosting. It's valued at $350. And it is a small boutique hosting service which provides you with everything you need for running your WordPress website without any surprises or upsells to suddenly you need a bigger package and blah, 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 what everyone else out there does. You know, most of my clients have been with me for more than 15 years. You know, so this is discerning user hosting. I don't take just anyone who requests to sign up for hosting with me. I'm very choosy about the clients I put on my servers because I want clients that take care of their websites and they don't ignore their websites, because ignored websites are just as bad as websites that use too many resources, because that's usually what they end up. So we're getting down to the wire now. It's coming to the time where you want to enter this contest. And once you win, hey, you can use that hosting for yourself, use it for your client, whatever way you want to go. Find out how good the hosting is over at johnoverall.com hosting. Check it out. All right. Got to wrap up a couple of things before we move into the Q&A segment with Amber. I think I already mentioned it. This is where I was going to try and put the information for. No, never mind. We talked about buying swag from us. All right, going to cover up the plugins we covered, and this week here I covered up the following plugins: Caddy Side Cart plugin for WooCommerce, which I rated with a 5-dragon rating; Child Theme Wizard, which I rated with a 5-dragon wizard. There goes my brain. Page Links 2, which I rated with 5 dragons.
And I covered Dark Mode Switcher for WordPress, which I rated at a 5. No Nonsense, which I rated at 5. And Free Download Manager, which I rated at 5.
Yes.
Very much a 5 day today.
Yes, it was. Very much. We don't have very many days where every plugin comes in as a 5. Must be in the Christmas spirit or something.
Either that or people are just coming out with really awesome plugins for us to check out right now.
And we're just happening to trip across them too. All right, a couple of quick reminders. Meetup. There will be a meetup in the new year. Not sure when yet, but it is coming. So I will let folks know as soon as it happens. If you'd like to be interviewed on the WP Plugins interview show, just simply reach out to me at wppluginsa2z.com/interview. And if you have any suggestions for plugins, just go submit them to wppluginsa2z.com, submit plugin review. And it is time for us to move along to...
It's question and answer time.
With Amber.
First of all, if anyone out there has any questions they'd like to have asked on the show, send them in to me at amber@wppro.ca, and I will get them up on here and let's see if we can stump my dad. The first question I have is, what is a robots.txt file?
It's the file you feed into your AI robots that are going to take over and do your kitchen and cooking and cleaning for you. No, that's not it. Oh, damn! It is sort of what it says it is. It is a robot. It is a file for robots, and it's a file for the robots that come hit your website on a continuous minute by minute, day by day, hour by hour basis. The robots are hitting your website at the rate of thousands per minute sometimes. And what this file is for is to give them directions on where they're supposed to go, where they're not supposed to go, what they're supposed to do, the things they're supposed to ignore. Now, the thing about the robot text file is it's an optional thing for the robots that come visit your websites. They don't have to acknowledge it or pay attention to it.
Oh.
The robots that come from Google, Bing, and everyone else, they obey the robot's text file. You know, those are your important robots anyway. But the worst robots out there, they just ignore it. But it goes in and it tells them, you know, what files to index, what files to ignore, what folders they're not supposed to go in and look at. It's kind of like giving rules to your kids. Is basically the best way I can describe it. You give rules to your kids and say, you can go in the kitchen, you can grab the bananas, but you can't have the cookies.
I see.
Okay, so the robots will see the cookies, but they're not supposed to touch them or look at them. They're supposed to look at other stuff. And it's like your kids are going to go in there, and sometimes the kids are going to obey that and not touch the cookies. Well, the robots are going to do the same thing. They're going to sometimes go in and they're going to go, I think I want the cookies today anyway. I don't care what you say. So that's basically what a robot's text file is. And I just answered your second question in the same vein.
Yeah, because I was going to ask, what is a robot's text file used for? Okay, well, let me rephrase that. How can you utilize robot's text file for yourself? What can you do to make it more useful for you?
I don't have all the code in my head. I have to look it up. But you can use it for when Google indexes your site to tell it to do certain things, or Bing. You can use it to direct the actions of the well-behaved robots. And it'll help them speed up the indexing of your site and other things. There's a lot of code that can be put into a robot's text file. So you have to look it up. I can never remember it all, and I don't edit them so often that I would remember it. But when I do need to edit one, I have to go look up the stuff to put in there.
Okay.
So it is a great tool, and it is a useful tool. But like I said, the bad robots, they just ignore it.
Oh, like the no jumping on the bed rule.
Yes, like no jumping on the bed rule.
right. And my last question is, when speaking about WordPress site, I've heard the word heartbeat referenced. What does that refer to?
Okay, well, that's an interesting question. What we will do is we will close out the show for those listening on the podcast, and when we come back, we will answer that question. So make sure, those of you on the podcast, go check out the YouTube version. Let my girl take us on out of here, and I will enjoy a bit of a shot.
Reminders for the show. All show notes can be found at wppluginsa2z.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A to Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by developers because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to wppluginsa2z.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show at Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and in the iTunes Store. You can also leave us a review on our Facebook page using wppluginsa2z.com/Facebook. You can also watch the show live on YouTube, check out the screencasts and training videos, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. Follow the show on Twitter at WPPluginsA2Z. John can also be reached at his website, johnoverall.com, or email him directly, john@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the show. This show is copyright by johnoverall.com. So until next time, have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today.
I just love that little laugh.
Yeah, I was just thinking he's going to be like 45 and you're still going to be using that sound clip and he's going to be like, oh my god, well, you just changed it already.
Yes, I know. You can't get any creepier than a little kid laughing. All right, on to your last question. All right, the word heartbeat. Well, I'll read the question out again for those that want to hear it again. When speaking about WordPress websites, you've heard the word heartbeat referenced. What does that refer to? What that references to in WordPress is every minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, I don't know what the time is set. You can actually go in and adjust it. A signal is sent out to the page you're on to refresh that page you're on or to back up that page you're on. And there's other uses in the heartbeat, and I can't remember all of them. But what the problem is with the heartbeat is it happens so often sometimes, it actually reloads in the background. The WP admin page is reloaded in the background. And when that happens, it uses up server resources. And on some hosting companies, it actually causes a drain on your website and causes your website to slow down because they limit the resources you can use. And it creates grief. And it got so bad for a while there that there's several plugins out there to limit the heartbeat, to turn the heartbeat off, to change the time frequencies of the heartbeat. You can do it manually, of course, by putting code into your functions file. But, and it was, of course, there to control what the heartbeat did so that it didn't interfere with your website's functionality and speed. And so that's what the heartbeat does. The primary thing that comes to mind, that recalls to me, is when you're working on a post in the back end of WordPress, every minute, few minutes or something, it's automatically refreshed. You don't notice it, but it's refreshed and it's backed up. And if you turn the heartbeat off, that backup is never made. So if your browser crashes on you, locks up, freezes, everything you just did is lost forever. So
yeah, that sounds frustrating.
It can be very frustrating. That was the reason for its coming into existence to begin with, because in the beginning, when you worked on WordPress, you never wrote directly into your WordPress post. You never ever did it. You did it on your local computer using Word or something, some other program that auto backed up as you wrote, or you wrote it and you backed it up and then you backed it up on your computer before you copy and pasted into WordPress. I still, to this day, write my posts in Word and then copy and paste them into WordPress. because I just don't trust it. Even with the heartbeat, I've had shit fail and lose it. So it's like I now do something where I have a better than average chance if shit crashes that I have a backup. Because there's nothing worse than spending 45 minutes perfecting several paragraphs of stuff, and then to have an instant crash and lose all of it and go, oh my god, I can't recreate what I just did. So,
yeah, that is frustrating.
So it is frustrating. So that's what the heartbeat is all about in WordPress. It is just the background actions that occur in WordPress. All right. Well, we've had some visitors here today. We appreciate those that show up to the show and listen to us. Thanks for coming in and tuning in. We greatly appreciate you. Don't have much else. I think we will call it a show at that.
Sounds good.
All right. Let's a little bit of music to carry us out into Never Never Land.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun and rewind. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. I feel the rope tightening, choking off our air. We need to grab some lightning. Friday's almost here. Caught in a web, we need to cut this thread. We're hanging by. Where is it said you have to be half dead to survive? These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder.
Alrighty, folks. That's all we got for you now. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Adios, mofo.